This meeting is being recorded. Okay. Yep. Slippery one.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So, Kevin, I fooled with the audio on this a little bit.
Nothing.
How,
It hasn't worked.
it has not worked.
No.
Okay, who hears me really low? Honest to God, I have no idea what's going on, guys. All our sound is jacked up almost as high as it will go. So I'm not sure what the problem is.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I had turned mine down yesterday because of the others. So you sound fine now. You're okay. Sorry.
Okay, good, good, Kevin, because you were sticking me in a corner I didn't know how to get out of.
And I put my hearing aids in. So
So that all helps now. Good. Gene, how's the sound for you? Is it good?
Yeah, I can hear it's a little uneven between the different people.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, because everybody's set at a different place. Jill, how does the sound for you?
It's just fine.
Okay, good. You guys all sound fine to me too. So I'm
Mhm.
going to assume that we have solved this problem, hopefully. Um, since Gene, I don't think Gene has been here before. We are recording this. However, it will not record you unless you ask a question or do something so that the camera, so to speak, goes on you, and then when you stop speaking and I start speaking, it will come on me. Um, but even if it does come on you, it will not record your name. Now, myself, when I've got my name identification here is Malcolm Dean, and I see Kevin says Kevin Cops. You can also just put your first name or your initials on there too. Nevertheless, in the recording, it will not show up. So you don't have to worry about it because these are going to go up publicly. And as far as private conversations between us like this right here, or Kevin had a conversation yesterday after the class. I always edit those out. So
Yeah,
those anything personal is not going to show up in the recordings. It's just the classes. Okay. All right. So we're going to do about 25 minutes of warm ups, and then we're going to proceed with what we've been doing, which is some learning classes on Fang Gong, relaxation exercises. So grab your stick. You guys probably can't hear this, but Annie and I are laughing because we have a pair of northern flickers who live out right behind our house. And what the male will do is land on the house, and they're a kind of woodpecker, and he'll peck on anything metal around the house, and it's just brrr, brrr. That's his mating call, and you can hear it through the whole house.
I think he's also telling you to get out there and put some seed.
Yeah, he's also saying, get out here and put some more
I'm
seed
ready for breakfast.
in the feeder. All right, start with the palm up, and then come from the end of the longest finger, breathe in up to the shoulder, turn the hand down, and breathe out. And the other side. And the other side. Lee circles, and back to front circles. And reverse. And shoe circles, side to side circles. And reverse. And ping circles, flat circles. And reverse. All right, start under your chin. Release with the left hand and just let the right hand drop. It's just going to drop down all the way. And then grab the stick again underneath. Straight underneath. Not like this, right? The hand up, all right, palm down, but underneath. Right hand's holding it, left hand goes under the right hand. All right. Then grab and continue up under your chin. Let go with the left, let go with the right. Left, right. And reverse. This move is called poling the boat. You've probably seen old Chinese ink paintings of someone in one of those really long skiffs poling down the Yangtze. So you've got a 20-foot pole and it goes down into the mud and then you push the boat forward. And then it goes down into the mud on that side. One of the reasons they include this particular move in these series is because of something you do inside, and it's something you do when you actually pull a real boat or pull anything, right? When you push down with the stick, right, there's a force going down. For every action, there must be an equal and opposite reaction. So the pole goes down, but your own inner pole in the center of the body goes up. to the top of the head and even beyond the top of the head. All right, it condenses a little and then it comes up. And reverse. So reverse is, it's actually just a completely different move. And good. Okay, you can put away your sticks. Sorry, hon. Head turns. And center. And right ear up. All right, so you're going to very gently lift the right ear without lowering the left ear too much, and just give yourself a little stretch in the neck. Very gentle. And relax, and then the left ear. And relax, and the right ear again. And relax. And the left ear again. And relax back to center. Cross the hands on the chest. Raise the chin. And relax. Drop the chin to the chest. Tuck it in and raise the back of the neck. And relax. Cross the hands on the chest again. Raise the chin. And relax and drop the chin to the chest. Tuck it in and raise the back of the neck. And relax back to center. Head rolls. And down to center and reverse. And down to center and back up. Forward spinal wave. and reverse. And good. The Qua. By the way, the Qua is a Chinese word which is usually translated as the groin. But in Tai Chi work, it actually includes the upper thighs, it includes this whole area here. And specifically the hip joints, which are not out here, they're inside, right? So what we're going to do is an exercise for the hip joints, and you just bicycle them like you're riding a bike, like you're a little kid riding a bike, and you're going to really go fast. So you're standing up on the pedals and you're bicycling. And reverse. And good. So in that exercise, your hip joints in here should have been going like this, right? Or reverse like this. This next exercise is also for them, as well as the whole abdominal region, only instead of alternating, now they're going to go together. All right, so in English, these are called belly rolls, but that's kind of misleading. All right, go all the way down to the perineum, come up the spine just above the navel, and then forward to the front of the body, down the front to the perineum, up the back, down the front.
Could we get the side view, Malcolm?
And reverse. All right. Now, down the back, under the crotch, up the front, just above the navel, back through the body and down the back again. And good. And the windmill. All right, so you want to shift your weight all the way to the right and then all the way to the left. To
And
the
don't
right.
forget to be in a horse stance.
Yeah, get yourself in a little bit of a horse stance. If you've never ridden a horse, go out this afternoon and rent a horse, ride it a little bit, and you'll know what I mean. And good. Okay, we're going to finish the warm-ups with squats. However, if squats are hard for you, then modify them. You can even just sit in a chair and massage your knees, for instance. So maybe Annie could demonstrate that. All right. If you're going to do a full squat, I guess she's not going to demonstrate. If you're going to do a full squat,
I'm squatting.
then start on the left leg. And then the right leg. And the left leg again. And the right leg again. And prayer position. If you know yoga, this is Malasana. Okay, hands on the knees, up slowly. Keep your head down a moment.
A quick question.
Yes.
The squats are essentially for the inner thighs, stretching the inner thigh.
Well, when are you talking about the last one we do, where malasana like this?
Oh, no, no, the previous, the right, left, right, left.
When I do, personally, when I do the right left, I mean, there's different ways to do this, and you can do whatever you want to do. When I'm doing them, this goes back to your question about whether the feet should be flat on the floor. You'll often hear that um, in modern YouTube videos. And that's fine. When I do malasana, yeah, my feet are flat on the floor, but not those first two, and I'll tell you why. Right? I don't know whether. I think you're going to have to get up closer here to see this.
Ooh, look at that. Wow. I didn't know you could do that.
I have complete control over everything.
We salute you, Master.
I never doubted that.
Um, watch my knee and my ankle. I'm like this. Right? So
Right.
I'm not trying to get flat down on the floor. That's fine for certain things.
Right.
I'm actually leaning forward on my knee and letting my heel come up naturally as far as it wants to go, because that's not what I'm focusing on. What I'm
Right.
focusing on is the ankle joint, closing that ankle joint as much as possible. Not forcing it, but just using my weight, and then I go over on the other side and it's the same thing. If I sort of artificially try to lower my
Right.
heel down, it would pull tendons in the bottom of my foot that would be quite uncomfortable. So for me, that's what I'm doing. Now, when I do malasana, the last one that we do, the last exercise we do, then my feet are flat on the floor.
Right. Right.
Not because I'm trying to make them go flat on the floor, but just that's what they do.
Right.
Right?
But it seems like we're ultimately in both of, where the inner thighs are undergoing a stretch. Is that the focus, or is the focus,
Eventually.
Um,
what are we focusing on? What's the aim?
that's a very big question. What you're focusing on is not so much your joints and your muscles or even your bones, but your chi, the flow within the body. Now, the flow within the body, if everything was perfect, your flow would be perfect. But for most people, including me, it's not perfect. So things that may impede the flow might be sore joints, or joints that don't open all the way, or joints that have been injured. By the time you get to be our age, you usually have several joints that have been injured. I've got a really bad L5 in back, for instance, etc., etc. So you can think of an exercise like the squats we just did as a way of gently opening those joints. Gently means you don't force anything.
Right.
You just let things settle into a more open position. If I didn't do these every day, within about 6 weeks, I would have serious problems with my back.
Yeah.
I know because I've tried it. All right? These are daily, for me, are daily routines that keep my back in decent shape. Decent shape. It's not perfect, but it's decent. Kevin, does that answer the questions for you?
Yeah. I mean, thinking in uh, not the way you think of things, for the average person doing this. When you're doing this, you're really stretching your inner thighs, and it seems like that's really oh, that's good. That feels good, to do that.
Yeah.
And do
Well,
it on
yeah.
one side and the other side.
Yeah.
But there's a deeper concept going on, or a deeper the opening the joints and the getting the energies going through smoothly, that's another level that I wasn't aware of, and that's
Well,
good.
that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about today. So
Okay,
thank you, Kevin.
you're very welcome. You can
He,
count on me.
he didn't even know that I didn't cue him ahead of time.
Well,
That was spontaneous.
I'd like to say I have to modify the squats because it will irritate the bursa in my knees. So I modify it. When I'm doing the individual legs, I modify it. I also modify the squat. But when I'm doing it, I'm also really focusing on opening, opening, opening. So if you have to modify it, figure out some way to modify it so you can get the benefit.
Yeah, don't ever feel that because I'm doing something you need to do it. Either the pace or the depth of the squat or anything. You do what is good for you and stay in your comfort zone. I'm really serious about that. It's not just to avoid injuries, which is important. It's that this is about the flow of chi. And the chi flows easily through places that are comfortable. And it doesn't flow well through places that are uncomfortable. So stay in your comfort zone. Okay, we've got 15 minutes left, but Kevin really did give me a good entrance to what I wanted to talk about today. In the West, Western people who come into doing Qigong or Tai Chi almost always have this mental outlook. They're doing Qigong, they're exercises, they're physical exercises. But that is not true. That is not what they are. You will get physical exercise, but in a sense, that's to the side. What it really is a mental and energetic discipline. And that means you have to be doing it all the time. You can't just space out and go mentally somewhere else. So we're going to do an exercise that is ubiquitous in Tai Chi and Qigong. And I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm going to give you the secret to Qigong and Tai Chi. Yes, Kevin, it is the secret, all right? So you may have already noticed that usually after each exercise or the beginning of a Tai Chi form, we do this Qigong. This Qigong is called Taiji Qigong, which means literally Tai Chi Qigong. That is a Qigong routine in and of itself. If you truly understand that exercise, you will understand all of Tai Chi and Qigong. So it's composed of 4 different energies. Peng, Lu, An, Qi. Peng, Lu, An, Qi. So those are the first 4 of the 13 energies of Tai Chi or Qigong. And we spend most of our time working with those because the others are much more advanced. And if you're going to get the more advanced ones, you've got to get the foundation ones. And it literally takes years to get the foundation ones. And they're very simple, and yet they're also quite difficult. Peng is the energy of expansion. So Peng does not have to go up. It usually goes up because that's the way human beings are built. But in fact, that's Peng. All right? This is downward going Peng. This is upward going Peng. It's the Peng of expansion. And expansion from where, you may ask? From the Dantian. The center of the body, your center of gravity. Everything relates to the center. So, Peng. Now, there are 2 ways, relax, there are 2 ways to do Peng. The way that everybody starts, and the way eventually, if you're lucky, you will figure out. So I'm going to ask you, you can just do this with your left arm, all right? Bring your left arm up in pung. In fact, I'm going to do it like a beginner does it, all right? Because you guys are all beginners, all right? Pung. Kevin, pung. Oh, I think his camera's frozen. No, okay. Now, I'm going to guarantee that all of you are doing it wrong. And you're doing it wrong because you're doing it out of the habitual movement that you learned as a child, as you were enculturated. No, no, don't lower your arms. This is one of the postures for standing meditation. You're going to stand here for the next hour. Well, you're not going to, but if you were doing standing meditation, you would stand here for the next hour without moving your arm. And if you do it wrong, it's going to get extremely painful because lactic acid is going to build up in your muscles and it's going to ache and you are going to be so happy you probably won't make it past 10 minutes. And I'll tell you why you're not making it past 10 minutes. And this is the secret. Because you're doing it with your muscles. Feel your arm. Feel the outer part of your arm here. Like this. Right? That's what's holding you up. You're holding your arm up like this with your muscles. But that's not what you do. Okay, relax your arm a little bit. That's called moving from the outside in. You're holding yourself up from the outside in. But that's not what you do in Tai Chi and Qigong. Tai Chi and Qigong are arts that do exactly the opposite. You hold your arm up from the inside instead of the outside. You don't use your muscles. You use your Qi. So the Qi expands from the center. It's like a beach ball blowing up, and your arms just rest on that beach ball as it blows up, and you just relax completely. You don't have to exert any effort at all because the beach ball is holding up your arms.
You sort of lower your shoulders.
You notice how my shoulders are down. My shoulders are down because I don't need to use my shoulders. This is holding it up. All right? Now, if we were doing Jianzhuang, standing meditation, we might go for 10 minutes or so, and what you probably find is your muscles would begin to ache and you would have to give up after a minute because you're not used to doing this. Okay, so relax. You're not used to doing it, so you don't do it very well. The practice is to do it over and over and over and over and over for months and even for a few years until you figure out how to do it. And when you figure out how to do it, then you've got the secret. Because the secret of Tai Chi and Qigong is to always move from the center, from the inside toward the outside, wherever the outside might be. Right? Might be your fingers, might be your elbow, might be your knee or your foot, but toward the outside, toward the periphery. So in Tai Chi and Qigong, everything always relates to your own center. Right? The center never moves. The center is the still point of the turning world. This is the place where you can find grounding in yourself. Right? Also touches the ground too, but really it's in here. Right? So when you do Peng in Peng Lu Jian, you don't lift your arms from your shoulder muscles. You don't lift like this. Right? You just expand. When you do Lu, Lu is the energy of turning on your own axis. Right? Your own axis, imagine you've got a pole through the center of the body. Right? You're just turning.
It's the hara.
And you're turning. It's the hara line if you're Japanese. Right? You're turning one direction and you're turning the other direction and you're turning them both at the same time. So pung, lu. How can you turn in both directions at the same time? Well, physically you can't, but energetically you can. If you've ever seen a 6-year-old kid with 2 hula hoops, doing 2 hula hoops, one going in one direction and the other going in the other direction, just get on YouTube and look it up and you'll see them. That's exactly what they're doing. It's an energetic exercise. Pung, lu. What is on? On is the energy of sinking. The best metaphor I've ever heard for that was from Shenzhen in China. All right? Imagine you're standing in a pool of water up to your waist, and there are 2 beach balls resting on the water, and you've got your hands on the beach balls. Now, you might think on is pressing the beach balls down under the water, but no, it's more subtle than that. All right? You've got your hands on the beach balls, and somebody pulls the plug and the water begins to drain out of the pool. And you just follow it down. It's effortless. It's not using your shoulders to push down. It's simply sinking your chi. Another way, another metaphor that you should know is the hourglass. All right? So I've got blue sand in the hourglass here. The frame of the hourglass is your physical body. The blue sand, that's your chi. If you just turn it over, the chi begins to fall down. Right? This is a long hour. This is a 15-minute hourglass, so it takes too long to do this. But that's the idea. And you just follow the chi down. You don't push the chi down. You just follow it down. It's very relaxed and very relaxing. Pung, expand. Lu, turned in both directions at the same time. On, right? Sink, very gentle. Sink down to the Dan Chen, and then all the way down underneath your feet. Touch the ground. And then G is condensing. So you're going to condense into the center. And then, now that you're condensed, you can expand again and turn and sink and condense and expand and turn and sink and condense. That's the basis of Qigong and of Tai Chi. Let me do the first move in the Tai Chi form, of which Master Zhang, my teacher, always used to say, if you get this move, if you truly get this move, you will get all of Tai Chi, because it's all in the first move. Pung, lu, on, chi. Pung, lu, on, chi. Pung, lu, on, chi. Pung, lu, on, chi. So what you're doing is just practicing those 4 energies, which are created from the center and then move out to the body. Folks think that Tai Chi is about learning the choreography. The choreography is just a means to an end. Choreography is just your ticket to get into the tent. What's in the tent is Qigong. And that's learning to hear and understand and work with your own energy body. So this little throwaway move that we do all the time, right? And you know, we're doing it very formally now, but You know, usually you're just doing it like this. But inside, you should be touching on each of those energies. It's not a thing like, it's just touch, 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 touch. It's very gentle. Whenever you're doing any Qigong exercise, for instance, we were doing the quote unquote belly rolls, right? What are you really doing? Well, you can explain this in physical terms, but energetically, what you're practicing is the lower microcosmic orbit. The microcosmic orbit is the two major energy channels on the front and back of the body. The renmai, which runs from the perineum up through the throat to the tip of the tongue. And the dumai begins on the hard palate, the upper palate, and runs over the top of the head and down the back to the perineum. So it makes an orbit, front to back. Whenever you're doing anything, see you later guys, whenever you're doing anything that moves in a front to back circle, you should be practicing the microcosmic orbit. So when we were doing the stick, you know, someone from the West anyway might look and go, oh well, they're doing this, it's an exercise. But no, it's not an exercise. It's a mental exercise, and it has to do with the interface between the mind and the energy body. Here's a little coin, all right, a little $50. The mind and the energy body. The mind and the energy body. They're two sides to a single coin. That's what you're practicing. So when you do an exercise like this, you're coming up the back, over the top of the head, down the front, under the crotch, up the back again. And it's that flow of chi, that's what you're practicing, is that flow. Now, will you get physical exercise? Well, of course. But the physical exercise is kind of the product of it. It's not actually the focus of it. The focus is the energy channels, and the feeling of it is like warm honey flowing through the body. Annie said over there, it's delicious, and it is delicious, right? It's your own energy. And then you can reverse it. Now, up the front of the body, over the top of the head, down the back, under. Anyway, when you're doing Qigong, or when you're doing Tai Chi, the purpose of learning Tai Chi is it's a very complex form of Qigong, right? It's all Qigong. It's all about how the energy flows in your body, and there are very specific energy channels and energy points. And the purpose of learning all that complex choreography isn't to do the complex choreography, it's to give you something to practice. The Tai Chi forms allow you to practice the movement of your chi through every possible angle and complexion. And what you're doing is mastering your own energy body. Now, you will get also good exercise with that. But it's really grabbing the energy body, and because everybody's got one, but mastering it so that you've got a second body. Not just the physical body, but you've got an energy body too. So you get bigger. You get bigger as you do this. Master Feng used to say, when you start, your dantian is going to be the size of a marble. Everybody's just the size of a marble when they start. And slowly, over time, it'll start to grow. If you practice every day, maybe 2 years in, now it's the size of my little signal here. All right? And you practice 3 or 4 more years, yes, Kevin, it's as big as, it becomes as big as a ball. And after 10 years, it's as big as your abdomen. And after 50 years, like with Master Feng, you know what he said happens? It starts to shrink again. It starts to condense. And as it condenses, it becomes denser and denser and denser until it's no bigger than a grain of rice. That's called the single crystal of Huanyan Qi. Huanyan means original or primordial. So it's talking about reintegrating the physical, energetic, mental, and spiritual bodies into a single point. And when you've achieved that, you have returned to the Huanyan integrity state. And that's the actual point of doing Tai Chi and Qigong. Besides which, it feels really good.
Yes.
It is good for you. So Jill, did you get that? Okay. All right, guys. Have yourselves a great day. We'll see you next time. Ciao.
To make a comment.
Yeah.
When you and Annie are doing the reverse belly rolls facing each other, it looks like a mating ritual.
Well, I have to admit, Kevin, I was thinking the same thing.
So I couldn't stop laughing.
Well, you were not the only person laughing. Both our degenerate minds work in exactly the same way.
That is a scary thought.
Have a good weekend.
Okay,
Have a
you
good
too.
one.
Thanks.